Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to explore 10 Depression-era foods that have mysteriously vanished from our family tables. The Great Depression was a time of immense hardship, but it also sparked incredible ingenuity in the kitchen. Families had to make do with what they had, leading to some unique and resourceful recipes. Number 1. Mock apple pie. Mock apple pie, a Depression-era innovation, emerged out of necessity during a time when apples were too costly for most families. Ingenious homemakers substituted Ritz crackers for apples, creating a pie that remarkably mimicked the taste and texture of a traditional apple pie. The process began with a buttery cracker crust, layered with crumbled Ritz crackers, sugar, and cinnamon. A syrup made from water, lemon juice, and additional sugar was poured over the crackers, which, when baked, absorbed the liquid and softened, creating a surprisingly apple-like filling. The essence of mock apple pie lies in the transformation of simple, affordable ingredients into a dessert that felt familiar and comforting. The recipe's popularity was bolstered by its simplicity and the way it showcased the resourcefulness of the era. The lemon juice played a crucial role, adding the necessary acidity to mimic the tartness of apples. The cinnamon and sugar blended seamlessly to provide the warm, sweet flavor profile that people associated with apple pie. Mock apple pie is not just a culinary curiosity, it's a testament to the resilience and creativity of people during the Great Depression. The recipe spread quickly through word of mouth and was often shared in community cookbooks and women's magazines of the time. It became a beloved treat in many households, cherished for its ability to bring a sense of normalcy and indulgence amidst economic hardship. Even though it might seem strange to modern palates, mock apple pie remains a fascinating piece of culinary history. It highlights the innovative spirit of those who lived through the Depression and their ability to adapt and thrive despite challenging circumstances. The pie is a reminder that comfort food can be created from the most unexpected ingredients, and it continues to intrigue food historians and home bakers alike. Number 2. Hoover Stew. Hoover Stew, named after President Herbert Hoover, was a staple during the Great Depression. This economical dish featured a mix of inexpensive ingredients: macaroni, hot dogs, canned tomatoes, and assorted vegetables. It was designed to be a hearty, filling meal that could be easily stretched to feed many people. The preparation of Hoover Stew began with boiling macaroni until tender. Hot dogs, which were one of the cheapest meats available, were sliced and added to the pot. Canned tomatoes provided both flavor and moisture, ensuring the stew was savory and satisfying. Any available vegetables, often those grown in home gardens, were also tossed into the mix. Common additions included corn, peas, and beans, making the dish both nutritious and colorful. This stew was a reflection of the era's resourcefulness. Soup kitchens frequently served Hoover Stew because it was simple to prepare in large quantities and could utilize whatever ingredients were on hand. It was not uncommon for the recipe to vary slightly from one batch to another, depending on what vegetables or proteins were available that day. Hoover Stew wasn't just a meal. It was a symbol of survival. Families struggling to make ends meet could rely on this dish to provide a filling and somewhat nutritious option. The hot dogs, while not the most healthful protein, added a familiar and comforting element to the stew, making it more appealing to children and adults alike. Interestingly, the dish also had a psychological benefit. During a time of extreme financial hardship, Hoover Stew offered a semblance of normalcy and stability. It was a reliable, go-to meal that people could count on, helping to alleviate some of the stress associated with food insecurity. Hoover Stew is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of people during the Great Depression. Even today, the recipe holds a nostalgic charm for those interested in culinary history. Some modern recreations of the stew have experimented with higher quality ingredients or additional seasonings, but the essence remains the same: a budget-friendly, adaptable meal that represents a significant chapter in American history. Number 3. Dandelion Salad. Dandelion salad, a Depression-era staple, exemplifies the ingenuity of using foraged food during tough economic times. Families would often gather dandelion greens from their yards or nearby fields, taking advantage of this free and nutritious resource. The greens, known for their slightly bitter taste, were commonly prepared with simple dressings made from ingredients like vinegar and bacon grease. The preparation was straightforward yet effective. The dandelion greens were washed thoroughly to remove any dirt. A warm dressing made from bacon fat, vinegar, and sometimes a bit of sugar was poured over the greens to wilt them slightly and enhance their flavor. This method not only made the greens more palatable, but also provided a rich, savory taste that complemented the bitterness of the dandelions. Nutritionally, dandelion greens are a powerhouse. They are rich in vitamins A, C, and K, as well as calcium and iron. During the Depression, when access to fresh produce was limited, dandelion salad offered a crucial source of essential nutrients. The greens also have diuretic properties, which were beneficial in times when medicine was not easily accessible. Dandelion salad also served a social function. Gathering dandelions was often a family activity, teaching children about edible plants and self-sufficiency. The process of foraging and preparing these greens fostered a sense of community and shared purpose among families and neighbors. The salad's popularity extended beyond mere necessity. The distinctive flavor of dandelion greens, combined with the smoky, tangy dressing, made it a memorable dish for many who lived through the Depression. Today, dandelion salad is experiencing a resurgence as people become more interested in foraging and eating locally sourced natural foods. Modern recipes may include additional ingredients like boiled eggs, onions, or croutons, but the essence of the dish remains true to its roots. Dandelion salad is a remarkable example of how people adapted to their circumstances, turning what was often considered a weed into a valuable food source. It highlights the resourcefulness and resilience of those who lived through the Great Depression, and reminds us of the potential to find nourishment and flavor in the most unexpected places. Number 4. Cornmeal mush. Cornmeal mush was a staple during the Great Depression, providing a versatile and economical meal option. Made from simple cornmeal and water, this dish could be adapted for different meals throughout the day. For breakfast, it was often served hot with milk and sugar, creating a porridge-like consistency that was both comforting and filling. The basic preparation involved boiling water and gradually adding cornmeal while stirring to prevent lumps. The mixture was cooked until it thickened into a smooth, dense mush. This straightforward process made it accessible for families with limited cooking resources and time. For lunch or dinner, cornmeal mush could be fried for a crispy, savory dish. After cooking and cooling the mush, it was sliced and fried in a pan until golden brown. This method gave it a crunchy exterior while maintaining a creamy interior, making it a satisfying meal that could be enjoyed with various toppings like gravy, syrup, or cheese, depending on what was available. Cornmeal mush was not only economical, but also nutritionally beneficial. Cornmeal is rich in carbohydrates and provides a decent amount of fiber and essential minerals like iron and magnesium. During the Depression, when food security was a significant concern, the nutritional value of cornmeal made it a vital component of the diet for many families. The versatility of cornmeal mush also extended to its ability to be stored and reheated, making it convenient for families to prepare in large batches. This practicality was particularly useful when resources and fuel for cooking were limited. Historically, cornmeal mush has roots in Native American cuisine, where it was known as polenta in Italy and grits in the southern United States. This historical context highlights how different cultures adapted this simple dish to their local ingredients and tastes, showcasing its enduring appeal and adaptability. Even today, cornmeal mush holds a nostalgic place in American culinary history. It reminds us of a time when resourcefulness and simplicity were key to survival. Modern versions might incorporate new ingredients or cooking techniques, but the essence of cornmeal mush as a comforting, versatile dish remains unchanged. This timeless recipe continues to be a reminder of the resilience and ingenuity that defined the Great Depression era. Number 5. Vinegar Pie. Vinegar pie, an ingenious creation from the Depression era, provided a sweet treat when fresh fruits were unavailable. The key to its unique flavor lies in the combination of vinegar, sugar, eggs, and spices, which together form a custard-like filling with a delightful balance of tangy and sweet. To prepare vinegar pie, the crust was typically made from simple ingredients like flour, lard, and a pinch of salt, rolled out and placed in a pie tin. The filling began with a mixture of eggs and sugar, beaten until smooth. Vinegar was then added, often white or apple cider vinegar, which introduced the distinctive tartness. To offset this sharpness, spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or allspice were incorporated, along with a bit of butter for richness. This filling was poured into the prepared crust and baked until it set, resulting in a pie that had a surprisingly smooth and creamy texture. The vinegar not only provided a necessary acidic contrast, but also acted as a preservative, making the pie last longer in an era where refrigeration was not always available. The origins of vinegar pie are rooted in necessity and frugality. During the Depression, luxury items like fresh fruit were hard to come by and expensive. Vinegar pie offered a way to enjoy a dessert without needing those scarce ingredients. It became popular not only for its practicality, but also for its intriguing flavor profile that managed to satisfy sweet cravings despite its simple components. Culinary historians note that vinegar pie may have had earlier roots in pioneer and settler communities, where similar resourceful cooking methods were essential. The recipe's endurance through the Depression underscores its practicality and appeal. Vinegar pie remains a testament to the ingenuity of home cooks during tough economic times. While modern palates might initially be skeptical, many who try this pie are pleasantly surprised by its complex flavor and smooth texture. It serves as a reminder that even the humblest ingredients can be transformed into something truly delightful with a bit of creativity and resourcefulness. Number 6. Prune pudding. Prune pudding, a cherished dessert from the Depression era, utilized prunes, which were one of the few affordable dried fruits available. Prunes, rich in natural sweetness and nutrients, became a crucial ingredient in many households looking for economical yet satisfying treats. To make prune pudding, prunes were first simmered in water until they became soft and plump. This process not only rehydrated the prunes, but also produced a flavorful liquid that was often used to enhance the pudding's base. The softened prunes were then mashed or pureed to create a smooth consistency. The next step involved combining the prune puree with ingredients such as milk, sugar, eggs, and a bit of flour or cornstarch to thicken the mixture. The inclusion of eggs provided a custard-like texture, making the pudding rich and creamy. This mixture was cooked gently over low heat, continuously stirred to prevent curdling, until it thickened to the desired consistency. Spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, or vanilla were often added to the pudding to enhance its flavor. These spices, while simple, complemented the natural sweetness of the prunes and added a warm, comforting aroma. Once the pudding had thickened, it was poured into serving dishes and allowed to cool, either at room temperature or in an icebox if available. Prune pudding was typically served chilled, sometimes topped with a dollop of whipped cream if available. The creamy texture of the pudding, combined with the rich, sweet flavor of the prunes, made it a popular dessert that provided a much-needed morale boost during hard times. In addition to its delightful taste, prune pudding was appreciated for its nutritional value. Prunes are high in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, making this dessert not only a treat, but also a source of essential nutrients during an era when food variety was often limited. Number 7. Depression cake. Depression cake, or wacky cake, emerged as a creative solution during the Great Depression, when ingredients like eggs, milk, and butter were scarce. This cake uses vinegar, baking soda, and oil to achieve a moist, flavorful result without traditional dairy or eggs. The cake's preparation begins with mixing dry ingredients: flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. Separately, a mixture of water, vinegar, vanilla extract, and oil is combined. The vinegar and baking soda react to provide leavening, helping the cake rise without eggs. This reaction is crucial, as it creates the cake's airy texture. Once the wet and dry ingredients are combined, the batter is poured into a greased baking pan and baked until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. The absence of dairy and eggs not only made depression cake economical, but also means it's vegan-friendly, a modern-day advantage. The cake is known for its rich chocolate flavor and moist crumb, despite the lack of traditional cake ingredients. Often it was dusted with powdered sugar or frosted with a simple icing made from cocoa powder, powdered sugar, and water, enhancing its appeal without adding extra cost. Number 8. Milo Corno. Milo Corno, a Depression-era innovation, was introduced as a budget-friendly solution for malnutrition. This government-endorsed product combined powdered milk and cornmeal to create a versatile and nutritious food source. The primary components of Milo Corno were chosen for their affordability and nutritional value. Powdered milk provided essential proteins and calcium, crucial for growth and health. Cornmeal, rich in carbohydrates and fiber, supplied the necessary energy. Together, these ingredients formed a balanced meal that could be easily prepared in various ways. One common preparation involved cooking the mixture with water to create a porridge-like consistency. This basic dish could be sweetened with sugar or honey, or made savory by adding salt and a bit of butter if available. Families often had to get creative with Milo Corno, incorporating whatever additional ingredients they could find to improve its taste and variety. Despite its bland flavor, Milo Corno was a lifesaver for many struggling families. Its nutritional benefits outweighed its lack of culinary excitement, providing a reliable food source during times of scarcity. The simplicity of the ingredients and the ease of preparation made it accessible to nearly everyone, even those with limited cooking skills or kitchen facilities. Milo Corno's impact went beyond individual households. It was distributed widely in school lunch programs and community kitchens, where it helped combat widespread hunger and malnutrition. This mass distribution was a key element in the government's strategy to ensure that even the poorest citizens received adequate nutrition during the economic downturn. Number 9. Potato pancakes. Potato pancakes were a Depression-era favorite due to their simplicity and cost-effectiveness. Potatoes, being inexpensive and versatile, were a kitchen staple. To make potato pancakes, grated potatoes were mixed with flour, an egg, and salt, then fried until golden brown. This dish capitalized on the availability of potatoes, which were cheap and filling. The grated potatoes provided a starchy base that, when combined with flour and egg, held together well in the pan. The frying process gave the pancakes a crispy exterior while keeping the inside tender and moist. Typically, potato pancakes were served with a variety of toppings. Sour cream and applesauce were popular choices, adding a creamy or sweet contrast to the savory pancakes. In some households, they might be topped with a sprinkle of salt or a bit of chopped green onion to enhance the flavor. The preparation was straightforward, making it accessible for families with limited cooking skills or resources. Potatoes were peeled and grated by hand, mixed with the other ingredients, and then fried in a skillet with a small amount of oil or fat. This method ensured that even a small amount of oil could produce a delicious, satisfying dish. Potato pancakes were not only practical, but also nutritious. Potatoes are rich in vitamins and minerals, particularly vitamin C and potassium, which were crucial during times when diets might lack variety. The addition of egg provided protein, making the pancakes a more balanced meal. In addition to their nutritional benefits, potato pancakes were a comfort food that brought a sense of normalcy and warmth to the dinner table. They were a familiar dish that could be enjoyed by both children and adults, offering a moment of culinary enjoyment amid the hardships of the Depression. Number 10. Cabbage soup. Cabbage soup was a staple during the Great Depression due to its affordability and nutritional value. Cabbage, being inexpensive and readily available, formed the base of this hearty soup. The simple recipe often included cabbage, onions, and sometimes a bit of meat or potatoes, making it both economical and nourishing. To prepare cabbage soup, onions were sautéed in a pot until translucent, adding depth and sweetness to the broth. Chopped cabbage was then added, along with water or broth. Potatoes, if available, were diced and thrown in to add substance and additional nutrients. Occasionally, small pieces of meat, such as ham or bacon, were included to enhance the flavor and provide protein. The soup was seasoned with salt, pepper, and sometimes a bay leaf or other herbs for added aroma and taste. The ingredients were simmered together until the cabbage was tender and the flavors melded, creating a warming and satisfying dish that could feed a family with minimal cost. Cabbage is rich in vitamins C and K, as well as fiber, making this soup not only filling, but also healthful. During a time when many people faced food insecurity, cabbage soup offered a reliable source of essential nutrients. The simplicity of the recipe meant that it could be easily adapted based on what was on hand, allowing families to stretch their resources further. This soup was more than just a meal. It was a symbol of resilience and adaptability. It brought comfort and warmth to those who consumed it, providing a sense of stability during uncertain times. The smell of cabbage soup simmering on the stove was a familiar and reassuring presence in many homes.